We have a special guest in with us this morning. So excited to introduce her as we have a really cool opportunity here in Hampton Roads celebrating Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, the boxing legend. There is a slate of events to celebrate him this weekend, and a part of that is the person who is with us in here today, Dr. Khalilah Ali, or Mama Ali, as she likes to be called as well. We are so thankful for your presence. You're a big part of the celebrations here this week. I want to say this. What have you not done? You're an author, actor, motivational speaker, martial arts, Hall of Fame, and obviously formerly married to Muhammad Ali as well. But, man, thank you for being here this morning.
A lot of accolades.
Listen, I was running out of breath because I could have kept going.
You could have. I could have gave you the whole list.
But let's start with, why you're here. There's a slate of events that are taking place to honor another boxing legend that has, very close to home here in the Norfolk and Virginia Beach area. What are you going to be doing as a part of that, and why did you find it to be important for you to be here?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I am honored and blessed to be on your show, and with all the people that has asked me to come here and participate with, because every time I come to Virginia, I get with Sweet Pea, and he was such a beautiful man, and I'm so sorry he's gone. He was just an amazing person. I was like in shock when he passed away. Very warm. There's something about fighters that I have a thing with, you know what I'm saying? So these men try to do their best and make themselves they're like gladiators, and they're there to win, and they're there to fight, and they're there to perform their art and study their art. Now, the only thing about it, when I came up, when I was 10 years old, and I met an 18-year-old fighter, called himself Cassius Marcellus Clay, he was amazing. And I studied him, and he is a perfectionist. He perfects his art. This guy, he trains in front of a mirror so he can see how good he looked when he hit somebody. I mean, this man was incredible. And he'll always be my champion. And to be here with Pee Wee to honor him is just amazing for them to ask me to come down here. And the whole trip was just amazing. I mean, they had the storms. They had cut the flights out. I said, am I ever going to get to Virginia Beach? I mean, come on. But with the due diligence, with a woman who is amazing, and she's going to come out with so many things for Virginia Beach, and this woman has made it happen. She made it happen. And her name is Anna Castillo. Castillo? Anna. Thank you, Anna. I have to say, Anna Castillo, she playing parties.
And she's in the room with us right now, too. She's not on camera, but she's in the room with us right now, too.
Yeah, come here. No, come here. I just want everybody to see this woman, because if you're on a wedding, you get Anna. Say hi, Anna. Okay, now you can go home. But I had to put her out there because she's an amazing woman, and she's perfected. She perfects these weddings and everything. So call her. What was the name of your company?
The Wedding Officiant.
The Wedding Officiant. Oh, my goodness. I can't even say it. But she's amazing. She made it happen. And most importantly, of course, she's honoring my birthday. I was supposed to be here on my birthday, which is, St. Patrick's Day. But this is the thing, which is a great Irish holiday. But this is the thing. Along with my package, I'm bringing my book, The Undefeated, The Untold Story of Healing and Forgiveness, and the life and times that I was with my husband. And that it shows how my husband and I built and created the Ali legacy by ourselves as a power couple. And that legacy goes on because, of course, we have the first 4 children of his first family. I'm considered the first family. And that within those children, I had twin girls, and Rashida, out of those twin girls, had 2 boys, Nico and Biagio. They are both fighters, and they're carrying on the legacy of Muhammad Ali. Matter of fact, Biagio is an MMA fighter, and Nico's a regular boxer like Muhammad. But he has a fight coming up April the 11th in Chicago. I'm so proud
How
of him.
proud you
He's
must
with
be.
the PFL. And I just love those boys. Now, when I saw Muhammad Ali fight, I wasn't nervous. I knew the man was going to win. I didn't have a problem with that. But the grandchildren, Mama, I just can't stand it.
You know, listen, you're a fighter as well. Like I said, you're in the martial arts
nice degree
Hall
black belt.
of
But you know,
Fame.
when I was doing a tournament, I snuck into it. I didn't want Muhammad Ali to know I was a fighter.
Well, I was going to ask you.
I didn't want to tell him. I
Did you-
tried to keep it a secret.
Were you into that before or after you met him?
No, before.
Before,
I
okay.
started arts when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I became a black belt at 10. So when he came to my school, and he said, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world before I'm 21, I go, who is this guy? And everybody go, and all the kids in school knew me. They said, man, are you related to this
You were
guy?
probably like, I could take him.
Yeah, right. I said, who is it? What is he talking about?
Yeah.
I said, they said, you sure you're not related to the guy? I said, no, I'm not related to him. He said, but he acts just like you. I said, I know, that's scary. So when he came and said that, he was all proud and confident. And confident, I said, wow, this guy's really confident. But this is during the time of the civil rights movement and all this. And I said, and then he gave all the boys in the Muslim school autographs and gave the girls autographs. And I'm standing over the girls. And he said, here, little girl, this is my name. I'm going to be heavyweight champion. I said, wait a minute, whoa. I looked, I said, well, your name is Cassius Marcellus Clay. Is that your name? He said, yeah. I said, Cassius Marcellus is a Roman name. You know what Romans did to people? No. I said, this is the kicker here, Clay. This is like dirt you mold. And you proud of this, brother? He said, well, I thought it was. Tore it up and gave it to him. Said, you keep it. I don't want that. I said, you'll never be, until you get a name of honor, until you get a name of respect. Matter of fact, until you get a Muslim name, you're not going to be famous with this. Take it back. I don't want it. He said, what? She told my name, man. She told my name. He was upset. He was upset for 3 years, saying that little girl keeps calling me dirt. So he asked Elijah Muhammad to give him his name. And Elijah Muhammad gave him my father's last name. He said, you better take this. Because if you marry her, and they knew it from Jump Street, all this when I was young. He said, because she can't take a Christian name. She's going Muslim. Her last name is Ali. So you're going to have to take her. I'm going to have to give you her father's name, and I'm going to give you Muhammad. You're going to be Muhammad Ali. There you go. That's how it all starts, and you get it in my book. You know, Undefeated is on Amazon, or you can come to the latest venues of my book signing and get it autographed, because I'm going to be here with my book, signing my books at my birthday party and Friday night at
Weddings and events.
Okay.
wedding events, okay, with Mr. Whitaker, representing Mr. Whitaker.
You know, I can just tell that book has so many stories in it. Just from the way that you have talked, you almost can't hold them in because there's so many.
So many,
I have to ask you just a few things just about your journey, just based off what you just said.
Yes,
You were
sir.
talking about the time with civil rights.
Yes.
And living through that, obviously, you and Muhammad Ali,
Well,
big part
big
of that
time.
conversation.
When
what was that like for you
when
guys?
He turned down, and when he said he was
Exactly.
when they drafted him after
Uh-huh.
he won the Sonny Liston fight, and
That was a big deal.
a matter of fact, at the Whitaker gala, Sonny Liston's godson is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I wrote a poem for Muhammad, for Cassius Clay at the time. I wrote a poem for him because I didn't like Sonny Liston, because Sonny Liston said he was going to knock out that black Muslim. That pissed me off, because I said, Muslims don't come in colors, man. You ain't no black Muslim. We just Muslims. And so I had to write a poem for Ali to tell Sonny Liston, because I didn't like him, but I didn't think he'd do it, But then my daddy called me and said, hey, did you give a fighter a poem on a brown paper bag today. I said, Dad, how did you find out? He said, well, he's on TV reading right now. I couldn't believe it. He was on TV holding up the sign, reading the poem.
Are you talking about the famous poem that he was reading out? Which one are you talking? Which poem did you do?
I'm talking about my poem.
Okay,
I don't know
I'm sorry.
about all the rest
Okay,
of it.
okay.
You want to hear it?
Okay, I want to hear it.
He was on TV holding up the paper, brown paper bag. This is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter in the world today. This fight's great. He's got speed and endurance. But if you're trying to sign to fight him, increase your insurance. This kid's got a left. This kid's got a right. Look at the kid carry the fight. Oh, the crowd's getting frantic. There's not enough room. There Ali loves the boom. That's the upgrade. Who would have thought when it came to the fight, they see a spook satellite? No one would dream when they put down their money, they see a total eclipse of the sunny. There he is. My poem written when I was 14 years old.
You are the mastermind behind that.
I'm the mastermind behind that poem, yes.
Did you write any others that we now know about as well?
I made quite a few. And what he did, when he don't remember them all, he blends them all.
You put it together?
who would think of that? And now, Float Like a Butterfly, Sting Like a Bee was written by Boudini Brown, who was Ali's trainer and the man in the corner of the ring.
Yeah.
Ali never really made up any poems. If he hears a poem or see a poem that he likes, he promotes it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't. He never, pick it. So he's saying and what all these poems, but he takes it and produces it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
I love,
he can. He got style. He got class.
But I think it speaks to, he was as much a part with all of you pouring in and being a part of that process, right? And we get to see him in the forefront, but it's all of these other elements that are really coming together with it. Yeah, yeah.
Because when he told me about he was going to go to the army, I said, no. Muslims don't go to the army. You become a Muslim. You can't go to the army. We don't fight white man wars, okay? He said, well, you always telling me all this stuff. What would you do if you was me? Because he was worried. He said, well, what would you do? You're so smart. What would you do if you was me? I said,
and at the time, that was very controversial.
Yeah. He said, what would you do? I said, you really want to know? I said, yeah. I said, hell no. I ain't going to go. Clean out my cell. Take me to jail without bail. Hell no. He said, you said that to the white man? Yeah, hell yes. And I didn't tell him to go out and say that. I just said what I would do, and he just put it out there. And everybody jumped. Oh, my God, they just went off. This man is amazing.
And then it became a part of history.
It became a part of history.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. For the events that are taking place over the next few days, a big part of it, too, is supporting youth in the community, right? Mentorship, providing boxing opportunities and access for them. We have brothers now from Norfolk with the Davis brothers. They are now kind of taking that next mantle with local boxing, et cetera. I want to ask you, because earlier you said the thing about boxing is you're fighters, but it's not just in the ring, right? You become a fighter figuratively out of life.
Fighter for youth, fighter for excellence.
You say you work with a lot of kids and young people now still. You've done it throughout your life. How important would you say it is to bring programs like mentorship boxing into communities? Do you think they need to be funded more?
Yes, you should. And you know why it's important? These youth have energy. They have amazing energy. And that energy should go and parlay in something positive. And see, these people that get out there with all this energy and they do wrong things. And they can't help it. But if they're guided by somebody to inspire them, because, just like Carlos Franco, he's a fighter out here. This man, he's young and he's got energy, but he's putting it in the right direction. He's putting it in the right place. I'm not really a big thing on women fighters, but I talk to some women fight. I'm into karate, man. I have to post what I love.
So you're saying like boxing? You're not talking about
I prefer women doing martial arts because I think it's safer and it's easier. You don't have to have brute force to fight. But I talked to a few fighters, women fighters in the past, and they told me how much it helped them bring them out, give them freedom, give them purpose. Look at Khalilah Ali. She's coming out doing fighting. She's inspiring all these young girls to have something of their own, something to make them who they are. If that helps them bring them out, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And these women out here they need cause and purpose because they're always on the sham end of life. They don't ever give them what they really deserve. They don't give them what they really need. And these women are young, and they want direction and purpose. Okay. Believe it or not, one of my ventures is designing a sweatsuit and a cover-up bathing suits for women. But I saw the other day, I'm also designing a boxing uniform for women to use for boxing so they won't be so exposed to public.
When do you have all the time to do all of this?
I mean, time is the essence. You can take valuable time and make it into whatever you want, but you have to be creative to do it. And so I'm looking for, I'm working on my designs now, and I'm looking for at least 2 teams to wear my suits, sweatsuits, in the next Olympics that coming up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Adidas and Nike can't take everything. I mean, you know, Ali Designs got to come out with them. You know, there's got to be 3 instead of 2.
I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to it.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you have the name Mama Ali. You were kind of telling me before we started a little bit of the origin of that. You mind telling our viewers who may not know?
Okay, but see, first of all, when I worked with Cassius Clay into Muhammad Ali and did my whole life instead of going to college, I just stuck behind him and supported him. He didn't think he was going to ever get his license back. I believed it. I believed he would. At least somebody in his corner believed in him. And he couldn't believe it. He said, how you believe that? How do you know? I said, but I know people. Don't worry about it. You have God on your side. You're going to win. You're going to get your license. You're going to never go to jail. But there's gangsters out there that runs the boxing world. They'd rather give you the money to see them lock you up in jail. So look at the facts. That's all. Simple facts. And I stuck with it. He said, you know what? You were right. How do you do this? And you never been anywhere. I said, I don't have to go anywhere to see idiots. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, a young woman is really a mother. You know, I just have mother wit. I have my prayer, and I have believe in God, and I just know what's gonna happen because I feel things. It's just mother wit. You're nothing special. You know, God guides you. You know, when you're doing stuff. But this is the thing. When I was 22, I wanted to fly because as an honor student, they let the honor student Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, took 5 girls that had honor student to Mixfield in Chicago. You know where Mixfield is. And we flew in a helicopter all around the city of Chicago. Boom, that was it for me. I wanted to learn how to fly. At 22, I got my pilot license.
Wow.
So now I have an office in Fly Compton, California. Straight out of Compton don't have everything negative. You got positive coming straight out of Compton, which is the Fly Compton, right in the heart of Compton, which is an airport that teaches little boys and girls how to be a pilot and astronaut.
That's amazing.
So I'm there to support those children because we need more of us in those skies. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just can't have just white folks all the time. You got to have all kind of people up there with them.
A diverse
together
team.
As a team.
A diverse
team.
What
I'm saying? It's beautiful. This is a world of humanity. All colors and nationalities should team together and do something positive. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why, you know, a big portion of why you're here, right? We're talking about the events over the next few days.
But you know what? When I did my tournament secretly in Washington, D.C., I snuck and did it secretly, private thing. And when I went into office, this little Chinese guy came up to me and said, can you give me some films on Muhammad Ali so I can study his style? I said, sure. What you gonna give me? He said, I teach you Wing Chun. I said, really? I said, well, deal. That young man was Bruce Lee. 9 months I was with this guy, learning me Wing Chun. I'm getting a little rusty, so I'm getting back into my Wing Chun again. So to see Muhammad and Bruce be together and everything, they said, no, Muhammad Ali didn't beat Bruce Lee. Yes, he was. I was in Vegas taking pictures with Bruce Lee and everything. So this is what I'm saying. These men these gladiators like Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield.
Who's going to be at the event, right? Evander Holyfield is going to be
yeah.
at the event here in Virginia Beach.
But these black men that are, I call them gladiators because that's what they are. That's what it started in Greece, with Caesar's regime, with Caesar. These men, they're serious about boxing. They're serious about it, and they do it, and they put themselves in shape.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how what your body can do if you focus on your shape. So after that, I didn't know, I'd go back to the time that I had to leave Muhammad Ali. I had to divorce him because of differences. But I looked at him, I said, let me tell you something. We have 4 children. We're going to be friends. I ain't going to be your wife, but I'm going to be your sister, and I'm going to watch your back. And we're going to stay friends and raise these kids. Okay, you already damaged them already, but we're going to raise them and stay friends to one another because we love one another. Just because we have differences don't mean that I want my husband in my children's life. And these women today, they don't want the husband or the boyfriends to be in these children's life, and they need that. They need that. They put the kids in and use them as weapons against each other. If you don't love each other and you want to go your way, you're going to go that way, you divorce, you go this way, you got your freedom. So where's the animosity? Why are you fighting? Yeah. You both got your freedom. So what's with the fighting?
Well, listen, I could sit here and listen to you for like a 2. I mean, we gotta get the book because if this is just a tease, we've talked about Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee. I mean, you flying. It's been.
I'll tell you one thing.
What?
Being married to him, going through that issue with him, he gained a lot of respect because he won the case. And do you know how many people? Black people, white people, Spanish people who are famous in our history that I met. I mean, how many people can say they met Louis Armstrong, Jimmy Durante, George Global, Jackie Gleason,
And
Red
if they
Skelton.
do, they say maybe they met one of them and you met them all.
Bobby Darin, Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra used to take me and Muhammad with the Rat Pack all the time. They had a roast. Dean Martin, I was sitting right there in front of the TV, sitting right in front of the dining room table with them, and John Wayne. I met all my heroes.
Yeah.
I used to love Twilight Zone. I met Rod Sterling.
Yeah.
The guy that did the original Fugitive series, James Matson. This guy, I met him. So I said, hey, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can I tell you one episode that happened to me in Hollywood? So Muhammad was going to see the basketball. He was going with Jim Brown and all the big basketballs, Dr. J and all of them. He was going to see them. And I was pregnant with my daughter, Miriam, our first daughter. And I said, I'll stay in the hotel. I'll figure something out to do. I just don't feel like going with you today. You just enjoy yourself. So I feels better. I stopped a little morning sickness, and there was a Hertz rent-a-car right in the hotel at the Century Plaza, with the fountains and everything. I'm in Hollywood. I couldn't believe it. I got to rent a car, and I saw this stand on the corner, and the stand, it says 25 cents. See, all the Hollywood homes, the whole stars in their homes. I said, oh, this is going to be great. So I pulled up in front of Ella Fitzgerald's house, and I said, look at that. That's Ella Fitzgerald's house. I got out the car. I rung the doorbell.
Of course.
Ella Fitzgerald answered the door.
What?
I said, Ella, this is a beautiful home. She said, aren't you Muhammad Ali? I said, yes, I am, and I'm sorry, and I'm expecting. She said, what made you ring the doorbell? I said, I ain't looking at no house. I'm going to ring the doorbell. She said, only you could pull it off. Come on in and have some coffee and cookies. I did that all day. Met Doris Day. She gave me some Salerno cookies with milk. And Milton Berle had this big black. I had a ball that day, and then I come back to the hotel, and Ali said, what you do? Nothing much. So we get ready to leave California, right? We on the plane with Ella Fisher. Ella said, hi, baby, how you doing? Did you do all right
he was probably like,
And
when
Ali
did you
said,
meet Ella
"You know Ella
Fitzgerald?
Fitzgerald?" I said, "Yes, I do. I do." She said, "She came to my house, man, while you was out flamming around with them basketball stars." But see, this is just something I do. I just love people. I love the artists and the stars back in the day. They had manners. They were educated. They had manners and respect for one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Frank Sinatra took us around with him, we didn't have any money. We didn't have any money. So I got him his first gig, Muhammad's first gig when he was first exiled. And I called Caesar's Palace. Now, back in the day when fighters would have a fight, they would introduce the old fighters in the ring, you know, before a fight. They don't do it anymore. They don't do that anymore. And they should. They should go back and do that. So I set it up. I asked the people in Las Vegas, I said, this is 1968. And he was in exile at the time. I took my college money and supported my family for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Because he didn't have any money.
Wow.
But I knew he was going to get the money. So I asked Caesar's Palace, I said, if I bring Muhammad Ali up there so you can introduce him to the fighters, how much you give me? He said, $5,000. Bring him on. So we drove to Las Vegas. And he got up there and did his thing. And then he said, I'd like to go to the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? In this big casino. He said, here, Muhammad, this is a key. You go through that door, and you can go to the bathroom in the hallway. And when you leave there, you can go straight to the elevator. It'll take you to your suite. And nobody won't bother you. All the stars go through there. Just lock the door. And we did. So Ali went in the door, I was standing next to the door with the Kodak, Instamatic camera by Kodak. My daddy had bought me. I'm standing next to the door, and I look up, and I see Elvis walking down my way. I said, Elvis, oh, my God, this is amazing. And I said, Elvis, check this out. I've always wanted to know if you was taller than my husband or if my husband was taller than you. So you got to give me this picture when he come out, okay? He said, where you at? I said, he in the bathroom. Ali comes out that moment, and Elvis looked at Ali and go, I love this guy. What are you talking about? And I said, Elvis against the wall. He hugging Ali and everything. I said, Elvis against the wall, my picture, right? He said, Muhammad, your wife wants this picture, but you are taller than me. Wow. I took that picture. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you on my phone right there.
Okay.
I have 1968. It was amazing. And I just wish I had these little cameras you got now.
Yeah.
I wish I had it. I would have an amazing.
Well, I would tell you, I just wish we had cameras following you around your entire life because, you know, and again, you have the book that's out there as well.
Yeah,
but we got
Undefeated. It is on Amazon, but try to go to the bookstore. I want everybody to come out.
Yes.
To my birthday party.
And that's what we're
so
going to
you can get your book.
This is it. We got the flyer
and I'll
up
sign
there.
it. And this is a first edition because I'm changing the cover.
Oh, wow.
In a couple of months. So it'll be a first edition.
So you see it there on your screen there, everybody. We have, it was supposed to be on Tuesday, but that's okay. It's when it's supposed to be, right?
That's
So
right.
it's going to be
Absolutely.
on Friday from 6 until 10 for Mama Ali celebrating her birthday. You can see the venue there, wedding and events venue on Holland Road in Virginia Beach. But also tonight is the kickoff to a slate of events through the next few days in support of the Pernell Whitaker Foundation, Sweet Pea Whitaker, of course, in honor of him, but supporting youth in our community, boxing access for them. There's a gala tonight. That's going to be at Gala 417, and then there's some things happening for the next 2 days. Again, even we were talking about it, Evander Holyfield, also another boxing legend from my hometown area now in Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to be there tomorrow at the event tomorrow. Where's that going to be? At Poolside tomorrow. What time is that?
That's going to be from 3 to 5.
3 until 5 tomorrow at Poolside. And do we have a street name for that, for Poolside?
It's off of Holland Road.
Off of
in Virginia
off of Holland Road in Virginia Beach. So just a lot of great opportunities to celebrate boxing greats, our own boxing great here in the community, and, of course, to meet and celebrate our own
There
Mama
you go.
Ali. We are. Oh wait, here's the photo. Let's
There's
see.
the
We
photo.
can look
See
at
if you
that.
You see the photo, Ali
We
and
can see
Elvis?
it. Yeah, we see it.
Can you
That
see
is
it?
so
Am
awesome.
Am I doing?
No, we can see it right here.
Okay.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah. Oh, that's the camera. Oh, hi, guys. I didn't see you over there. That's Elvis right there. Look at the old 1960s suits and tie. Oh, my goodness.
I love it, and I love you so much. You're just honestly, it has been a joy
But
to
you know what
sit
I've
here and
done?
listen
You
to
know
you
what I
share your
did last week?
stories.
Can I tell you what I did last week?
Well, we got one more story because then we
One-
got to go
one
to
more
break. But
story,
what's
that's
up?
it.
You tell me.
For Black History Month,
Yeah.
my manager, Dr. Khalilah Akeem,
Mm-hmm.
has the Black History Mobile Museum.
Okay.
And we went to 8 schools in Detroit, Michigan. Wow. And in a certain area. I can't remember the name, but we went to 8 schools, and he puts it like in a horseshoe,
Yeah.
the archives of the Black history. And we sit down and we talk to the kids, and he has a coloring book that teaches ABC, and the first one comes up was A for Muhammad Ali. And then he'll say, this is his son here, and
Yeah.
this is his wife. Do you guys see anybody that look like this lady? And then here I am, and the teachers
Right
just
there.
go, what?
Yeah.
And then I said, look, yes, Muhammad Ali and I have 4 children. I said, and you're going to have a tour around with all these
Yeah.
Black history archives, and you're going to learn and see half of my friends on that table, you know? So it was just amazing to give this Black history, and Black history is American history.
Yes, ma'am.
Black and white, they was working together. They might have put some of them put them in slave, but there were those who helped them get out of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a team effort for everybody to learn about their history, because it's a great history story for America.
Well,
And we
you
had that.
are every bit about, and a part of that history, and we're so thankful to have you in today, and happy belated birthday
Thank
ahead of
you.
your birthday party on
Yes.
Friday, and thank you so
I'm
much
just
just
so
for sharing
happy,
your
yeah.
stories. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
you bring so much joy.
Yeah.
And
know-
again, all the people and the experiences that you've had,
Yes.
thank you for
And
bringing
I
them
want
on our
people
show
to come
today.
out, and I want to meet them. I want
Yeah.
to greet them. I really want to. I love my people.
She gave me a big old hug, y'all,
I
when we saw each
because
other.
he is a handsome man. Look,
Okay.
if I was younger, something would have happened.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's a good way to
Yeah.
go in.
And he would
Mama
be-
Ali.
And then he would have been
Don't-
more famous than Walter Cronkite. Yes, he would have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, any kind of woman that got any kind of sense is gonna help a man project him to be the greatest that he can be. That's right. You ain't gonna sit on your behind all day. You gonna get out there and be out there.
Well-
and look how beautiful you are.
You too.
And they get
you,
younger by
you
the
too.
minute. I mean to tell you, they don't have these old ghosts.
Mama
no more.
Ali,
They got-
I am flattered, and
Woo,
again,
I followed
thank you
Bill Curtis
so
for many years.
much.
I like your little peach fuzz. You got it going on, brother. I'm telling you, if I had some sisters right now, some children your age right
Oh,
now, I'd set that wedding up.
I
You
see.
Set that wedding up for me
And
now.
now I get
I
it.
know people making wedding promises.
Listen, we got to go to break
you
now.
single?
We gonna
Are you
we gonna
single?
we gonna take a quick
Hello?
break.
Are you
We
single?
appreciate
Hello?
Mama
I don't
Ali
take
for
nobody
being
on-
here.
I don't take nobody over 50. I'm telling you. I'll tell you right.
We gonna go to break. Mama Ali, thank you so much. Again, we'll be right back.